Hello everyone, thank you all for coming to my channel. Today, let's take a look at an interesting new story. There was a beautiful woman luring him in front, but it was actually a trap. As long as he took a step forward, the man with a stick behind her would attack him. Meanwhile, in another part of the town, a group of wild beasts attacked him. When the war began, my brother and I reunited. It seems he knows how to control beasts, surely a skilled animal handler stronger than that young master. I didn't expect this muscular man to speak like that, but he also seems quite intelligent. Faced with my criticism, the muscular boy did not show anger. He also reminded me to protect the girl behind me. But when I looked back at Kyuko Bak, seeing her trembling and touching her nose, I comforted him that as long as I am here, she will not be harmed. Come with me, I will protect you from the harm of wild beasts. Be careful, the beasts have been provoked, and this war is inevitable. The minefields organized by the mercenaries have also played a crucial role. The first warrior was immediately devoured. But the beasts quickly filled the attacking positions. At this point, the blonde man in the highest position also began the first battle. The Barrett gun met the beast's charge head-on, the first shot hitting its head along with bullets from the gun. Some other ferocious beasts were eliminated, seeing a few escape. Hoang Mao reported the situation to his comrades. Tu Kim received the news and immediately activated the machine gun on the wall. However, the bullets only grazed the feet of the ferocious beast. The muscular man who had climbed up the wall saw this and taunted Tu Kim. I saw some beasts escaping from your automatic gun. Tu Kim controlled the remote gun and fired on the screen. Why didn't you follow them when you saw them? At this point, the strong young man with a large machine gun was ready in position. The echoes of gunfire filled the air as some beasts charging were annihilated. But with such powerful firepower, some beasts still managed to climb the wall. Seeing a beast approaching, the young master was ready to act, but the electronic man quickly stopped him. Not yet, throw the gasoline canisters first. Listen to me before you act. Beside my younger brother, we poured each gasoline canister down into the city. The new monster halfway up was suddenly hit by the falling gas canister, while Hoang Mao from afar also seized the opportunity to aim his gun at the gas canister, triggering the explosion. As the beasts faced the difficulty of the flames, another differently colored beast rushed forward. The muscular boy also informed me that the main attack had begun. Hearing that, I quickly opened my eyes to learn more about the white rank beast with my tiger eye. At the same time, the white rank beast activated its enhanced combat skills. All beasts hearing the fighting sound became excited as if they had drunk chicken blood. And the blonde man also informed us that there were 7 or 8 such ferocious beasts. While the white rank beast activated its enhanced combat skills, the battle became tense. Seeing this, the muscular man assigned the task of facing the white rank beast to the gentleman with the binoculars. The gentleman with the binoculars was also very confident. Next, let me handle it. In a world full of colors and interaction between humans and spirit beasts, hot weapons are ineffective against white rank beasts once they surpass the silver rank level. When a spirit beast reaches the silver rank level, hot weapons can hardly threaten them. And now we are preparing to face 7 or 8 such beasts along with the combined combat skills of the spirit beasts. The battle has become tense. I am observing the battle from afar, gathering my basic strength and joining the fight. However, the ferocious beasts continue to appear incessantly, impossible to eradicate. Just as 3 beasts are about to attack me, a spider silk suddenly stops them, leaving only one last beast. With my strong basic strength, I have defeated the last beast. When I asked Zhou Bu Bai about the time when his spider ranked up to Dong Tran, he mentioned that he only went to a black market to buy materials for Rong Yan, and the spider ranked up to Dong Tran. In the past, I collected enough ingredients to clean the white scales in 3 volumes, while he only went to the black market once. Ranking up to S is truly not easy. The screen shifts to the army of ferocious beasts attacking the machine gun fortress, which they have completely overrun. The muscular man is also struggling, the gun barrel smokes, unable to stop the ferocious beasts. The masterpiece of Bak Nan from 4 sacred sects did not disappoint, as a move from the great golden crane has driven away the beasts attacking the fortress. Seeing everyone trying so hard, I also decided not to be lazy anymore. I opened the space in front to sell 12 numbers, and the Red Fury finally has its own debut. Red Fury does not say much, immediately shooting out 3 flaming arrows, killing 3 beasts in the blink of an eye. Meanwhile, on the other side of the battlefield, residents and fire pets are suddenly faced with a sudden reinforcement of the ferocious beasts. The residents are truly from the 4 sacred sects Bak Nan and Prophet are easy to sell. The fire pets only need one firefighting move to defeat the beasts. However, these beasts continue to appear incessantly, impossible to eradicate. Seeing this, I allowed the Fire Phoenix to use its most powerful move. Fire Phoenix once again concentrates its basic strength, striking directly at the charging beast. Under the power of the Fire Lotus of the Fire Phoenix, countless fire punches hit the beast in just a second. The beast cannot withstand this strong punch. After dealing with all the immediate beasts, the residents also realize that the military is on its way to support. When he talks to his comrades behind the battlefield, suddenly cheers fill the air. But before 2 seconds of happiness, the comrades next to him mysteriously disappear. When the remaining comrades notice the anomaly, they are enveloped in an image and, in an instant, their minds are shattered. Seeing this, the friend next to Lamb cannot bear it, grabbing an AK-47 and preparing to confront. But after a glance, Lamb turns into a hairless being. The last ferocious beast has finally revealed its true nature, unlike the other creeping beasts. This beast can stand upright, breathing heavily, reaching a terrifying level of black gold. At this moment, Yellow Hair receives a pass from Hong Dan. As he aims at the beast, he squeezes his trigger without hesitation. The bullet collides directly with the beast, while the Fire Phoenix seizes the opportunity to pull out its left eye and unleash a fire shockwave. But the golden-level beast easily avoids this powerful strike with just a few leaps. What began as a battle with live weapons suddenly changes when the queen of the ferocious beasts appears. The battlefield immediately turns into a sea with the secrets of the identities of Bok Nan and Prophet of Hong Dan, causing no harm. On the other side of the battlefield, everyone is caught off guard by this sudden explosion. Seeing the situation is not right, I immediately send the Red Fury to assist the identity to protect the Fire Phoenix. Retreating, I establish the only golden and silver shield. But Bok Nan and Hong Dan are two different worlds. The queen of the ferocious beasts has broken through the defensive shield. Capturing the identity, as the ferocious beast prepares to end him, Princess Hong arrives just in time. Sensing the danger, the beast throws the wing it holds at him. Fortunately, White Crane reacts swiftly and dodges with one step. Kai Ming was also pursued and rescued by a muscular man. If this level of ferocious beast is not stopped, everyone in the battle will be in danger. It is said that Hoang Mao has also pulled out the bullet from the gun slowly, placed a bullet containing soul energy into the gun, and when he squeezed the trigger, the gun did not disappoint. Immediately, the gun barrel was destroyed by this powerful energy. Fortunately, the bullet hit the blurry beast. Just when everyone thought the beast was dead, it stood still without any injury. Hoang Mao was not good, but the beast appeared in front of him. The observation deck was covered by an explosion in an instant. Seeing this scene, I was also amazed by the horrifying speed of this beast standing still. At this moment, the battle on the observation deck had ended. The beast looked at its severed arm and fell into contemplation, but quickly it turned its head towards the people watching. The ferocious beast appeared behind me immediately. Sensing something unusual behind me, I quickly opened my protective shield. At the same time, the beast rushed towards me. Facing a ferocious beast, my silver shield became too weak and shattered in an instant. Seeing the beast's imminent attack, a sudden thread attached to me and pulled me backwards. Kwok Bok Keen also directly endured the attack from me. Feeling a touch on my back that wasn't right, I quickly apologized to Kwok Vu Bok. The fire spider next to me couldn't bear it anymore and unleashed its strongest blow directly. But the ferocious beast, as if knowing in advance where the attack would come from, smoothly avoided it with a few light steps. The beast's speed was very fast, but its head had been continuously destroyed by bullets before, yet it could easily dodge my attacks. Perhaps it could only sense energy waves. To verify the hypothesis, I sought help from the mercenary team. But just when they were still determined, they turned around and ran away. Kwok Ko Bok also showed surprise. It seemed like it was just the two of us. As I was preparing to plan, a duck fell from the sky. Perhaps you have forgotten that there is still me, a backup named Bok Non Hop of the Vo Ha Kao group, under the different gaze of me and Kwok Ko Bok. Vo Ha Kao directly swallowed Four Eyes Human. At that moment, Vo Ha Kao's body began to be covered by light, and its shape was changing strangely. As the light dissipated, a creature that was neither human nor demon appeared before us. Mat Thien Koi also sent a very friendly message, combined with a backup of the Bok group. And merged with the retail mind, all attributes were greatly enhanced. Although Kwok Ko Bok's skills were very strong, he seemed to be looking at something dirty. But Four Eyes Human was very confident in his talent, unleashing the marsh attack and flying towards the ferocious beast. The ferocious beast did not give the opportunity to disgust people, lifting its arm and punching his abdomen. Four Eyes Human, at the cost of his life, helped me verify the hypothesis about the ability to see the energy of the beast. In this backup world, there are countless strange talents. Some have natural luck, some turn into superheroes with loyalty. Having only trained for 2.5 years, Dao Du uses life as the price for death. But this also makes me firmly believe that the beast can only see energy. To survive in the battle with the ferocious beast after planning with Kwok Ko Bok, I faced the ferocious beast alone. When I released energy, the ferocious beast appeared behind me as planned, similar to before the attack. Although the speed was very fast, the ferocious beast hesitated slightly whenever the attack was about to come. I seized the moment of the impending attack and directly released a large amount of energy. Before the beast, which only saw energy, this amount of energy was like shining light in its face. In that brief moment, Dutak also seized the opportunity. Targeting the ferocious beast, I launched a fiery attack. Even when steadfastly restraining the beast, Kiko Bok could not sit still. In the small battlefield, almost all the containers were interconnected by a crimson net. At the right moment, I requested Vid Hong to unleash a swirling fire. The ferocious beast, trapped under the powerful fire force of Vid Hong, could not move. Seeing this, Cao Ko Bok began to take action to gather the net. All the containers linked by the net would bury the ferocious beast alive. Vid Hong also focused his fundamental energy at this moment. Launching my strongest attack under the power of the large X-ray beam, the position of the ferocious beast was immediately blown up. Causing a mushroom cloud, even the city of Bok Lang a few miles away could witness this grand event. As the smoke faded, the entire battle area was destroyed. Luckily, Cao Ko Bok and I had escaped into the reserve space beforehand, unaffected by the explosion. However, with such a powerful attack, the ferocious beasts were still not dead, slowly crawling out of the rubble. Currently, there is no better solution than directly opening up the spatial portal to release the juvenile shark. The juvenile shark swallows all the properties in front of it, still struggling after devouring the powerful prey. Turning into stone due to the strength of the large and small sharks, the nutrient-rich prey could be swallowed whole. Covered all over with blood-red thorns, even I, a beast tamer, was suddenly attacked by these thorns. Feeling my essence being corroded in front of me, I couldn't help but feel overwhelmed. I took the fish and gold and placed them in the reserve space. At this moment, the muscular young man was ready and emerged from the secret path. But after searching around, they only found half a frog leg. Thinking that no one survived, Cao Bok Gi lay flat. I appeared before them, and after seeing me, they could no longer bear the exhaustion of their bodies. Slowly closing their eyes, when I opened my eyes again, two girls were staring at me with concern. A member of the mercenary team also told me that I fell into a coma due to excessive use of soul energy. I was questioning why I suddenly used too much soul energy. The muscular young man called me to meet a citizen on a trip. However, this couldn't conceal the fact that he had fled in a dangerous situation. The citizen did not object, he was just surprised by my terrifying power. Ceasing to evade and run away, he asked me if I wanted to join the mercenary team. Clearly, this person could abandon us once, and he would surely abandon us a second time. But I didn't rush to refuse and asked him what the benefit was. The citizen would also go to the town of Choi Lang to guide clients. But after thinking, the town of Choi Lang was the mandatory destination of this trip. We would share and support each other. The citizen also agreed to pay me 3% of the reward. This transaction ended with both parties keeping a secret. In a world where anyone could predict that strong power often came with extreme destructive capability, and like such spiritual creatures, I had two, one always ready to use an attack equivalent to a nuclear bomb. One always capable of swallowing everything, along with a group of people enduring many challenges and hardships. We finally arrived at the outskirts of the town of Choi Lang. On the way, the muscular young man responsible for fixing the car encountered many issues from flat tires to engine malfunctions. This was the genius of Kiu Kok Bok. At the moment, I suspected why not go directly to Tiu Lam to escort the client. This time, stepping out of the car, he cursed the Zich Dan gang and reminded him that if he didn't want to die, he should shut up. There were many ferocious beasts around. Seeing the noble lady snake's furious demeanor, she immediately used her brother's gold to threaten everyone. However, the noble lady snake did not turn back, but went far away, committing a crime against her protectors in the wilderness. These people truly do not fear death, but in the face of the noble lady's commotion, some villagers arranged a room for us. Upon entering the room, I felt something was amiss when I saw the fire, but it was too late to realize. Bok Kwok Bao had inhaled too much sleep-inducing smoke. At the opportune moment, some villagers, wearing protective masks, advanced. This group actually had the intention from the beginning to involve me, but from what Thien Koi said, they discovered the sleep-inducing substance. To investigate what this group was selling in the pot, I used a trick to remove their masks. The leader guessed my origin from the large sword hilt, wanting to do something big during the chaos of Boklang City. When they were suspecting why someone was missing, the monk had been hiding in the corner of the room, and when the plan failed, the muscular man no longer pretended, brandishing a gun towards the monk. The monk, instead of resisting, raised his hand and said he wanted to talk to them. Upon seeing the tattoo on his arm, they understood everything. Little did they know, this monk was from the Moon Society. I pretended to be asleep next to him, feeling suspicious, thinking it was just a regular kidnapping. Unexpectedly, the Moon Society wanted to interfere. Now I can only wait to see how things develop. The monk is a special agent recruiting talents for the Moon Society, and people like me who can surpass levels in monster killing are their targets. Chi Min did not directly refuse the monk's offer. The monk waved his hand and said, "You misunderstand. The Moon Society never negotiates. For those who want benefits without paying the price, we usually ask for their parents." But Chi Min was ready to act. Behind the scenes, two followers holding whips suddenly appeared. However, these followers were not real people but illusions set up by the monk. Chi Min, unaware of this, created a deadlock in the battle. Until a gunshot broke the silence. When Chi Min wondered who fired, a familiar voice came through the earpiece. "That's right, Hoang Mao is not dead." Saving time with unnecessary greetings, the muscular man also noticed a panoramic image projector in the corner. When the plan was exposed, the monk still wanted to use the Moon Society's ritual to threaten them. For those tough people, even facing death, they remained stubborn and surely did not lack a round of punches and kicks. Meanwhile, in another part of Choi Lin town, a group of followers rushed towards us. Hearing sudden noises, everyone was confused, except the monk who chuckled quietly. At that moment, in the secret realm of Van Chao where I was. Shortly after, Shen Qi and Luo Shou burst into our room. Not only was Chuck Tho at the peak level of gold, but even the idol's aura was approaching the diamond level. Impacted by a punch from Chi Min, they felt their bodies immobilized. In the secret realm of Van Chao where I was, there was a group of extremists worshipping the banyan tree and monsters. The Spider Mother even established the Moon Society for that purpose. Just before I pretended to be unconscious to see what those soldiers wanted to do, I used a trick to remove their masks. But not long after, the sinister followers continued to appear, the leader even reaching the highest gold level in power, while Chi Min was the final white gold level. He was defenseless against the deviant as he approached me in white neck bridge. When I sneakily observed him, he immediately took out a vial of potion from his magic staff. The secret potion poured out. Once the chemicals mixed with other ingredients were blended, they could control the person injected and enhance their strength. Initially, I thought it was a regular persuasive method, but these individuals resorted to such extreme methods. Seeing the needle approaching, I broke free from the restraints on my wrists and tightly grabbed the deviant. With the hand ready to inject the drug, spiritual forces swirling around me were directed straight at the deviant. However, this powerful attack posed no threat to him. Seeing White Neck Bridge still in a dazed state, I released the spiritual forces, turning them into smoke. Concealing the deviant's view led to the disappearance of the entire wall once the smoke dissipated. Clearly, the deviant had no intention of giving up immediately, ordering his two minions to hunt us down. Meanwhile, White Neck Bridge and I were running towards the edge of the forest. We were fleeing the dense forest, but when I opened my sixth eye to survey the surroundings, a white deer palm tree obstructed the path. Faced with this situation, like a force to ensure our safety, I and White Neck Bridge. At present, we can only take advantage of a small space. In any case, before, Ha newspaper was using this method without being affected after settling Kiu White Neck. We also analyzed the current situation a bit. Ma Chao sect has a total of 4 more individuals in the modern night banana forest filled with ferocious beasts that we can borrow words from Thien Kai to avoid these beasts. The priest, due to his handicapped hand, constantly begs for mercy. But for this type, bringing a defect directly to him is a form of mercy. Tai Thien Dai Lu, the grand ceremony, views the army gradually retreating. The priest cannot help but raise a terrifying battle, even killing his own subordinates. Must I declare today on the other side of the battlefield being frantically chased by the dark sect's disciples? I am not afraid of this, on the contrary, revealing a demon face to execute a plan, running to the designated location, directly resisting the protective shield. Not giving these people any chance to stop, the rear rope directly brings the dark sect disciples. The dark sect disciples suddenly emit ropes, causing some surprise. However, they quickly react, discovering they are wood elemental beasts. But the basic green pepper tree does not give them a chance to resist directly. Wrapping both people and pets together to hunt, the green pepper tree only knows how to attack creatures entering its territory, their pet sea snail being too large, as long as I am stuck on the edge of the territory. They will be considered invaders, and once they are considered invaders, they will love them in the most terrifying way. The two dark sect disciples did not disappoint everyone's expectations. Before there was a 100-year-old demon, there was a dark sect chasing regardless of where they went. We are the only survivors, willing to risk our lives to attract the dark sect to the demon's territory in front of the powerful demon. The dark sect disciples instantly turned into a dense white bone. Just as I was about to leave, a fruit in the belly caught my attention. A green pepper fruit, white silver, including ingredients with a strong vital energy. It can be used to treat any kind of injury. This is one of the essential materials for healing. The arm cannot be missing because I directly wielded a spiritual force to chop towards the green pepper seed in an instant, catching the strong fragrant smell hitting my face momentarily. I even forgot that I was still in the territory of Tantiu 2. Luckily Tantiu 2 specializes in absorbing spiritual energy and did not detect me. When I was about to escape with a precious treasure, suddenly a toad appeared at my feet. If nothing unexpected happens, something unintended may occur. I was thrown off balance by this oily toad, my eyes were stinging, and then the oily toad made a mess. I couldn't help but wonder if I had interacted with the toad, but it didn't give me much time to think. Suddenly I felt a cold shiver down my spine. At this moment, the Ma Chao sect on the other side, from the sound of fighting in my ears, could roughly guess that the disciples of the sect were in trouble. However, he did not go forward on his own but instead stared intently at the army behind. After muttering for a while, in the palm of my left hand, gathering spiritual energy, slowly crawling out were a few small exploding spiders, who were currently blaming a few people for burying themselves. At this moment, the small spiders, one by one, crawled up their necks. At the same time, the fourth person also warned everyone that now you have to obey my orders. If not, the spider on your neck will explode along with your heads, and I was crazily chased and killed by a green chili pepper and I would jump up. Coincidentally, this slap directly blew me out of the territory of the green pepper tree. At that moment, I marveled at the strong power of the plant-based beast sensory sixth sense of mine suddenly discovered. Someone is chasing after me. Indeed, it is the army being controlled by the Ma Chao sect. This time, they also followed immediately when I suspected why the army helped the Ma Chao sect. Tu Kim secretly held a gun and approached me, not giving him a chance to shoot. I directly used my powerful strength to release a dense fog. I saw him about to shoot me again from under his eyelids, so I rushed towards the Taoist cultists. For these mercenaries, this was a scolding. The civilians were not used to him, pointing at the Taoists' nose, and started to go crazy. But thinking about the bombs hanging around their necks, they still honestly searched for them in the dense forest at this time, overusing my spiritual energy. Also attacked by thorns, the blood-colored dust was attacking, the original self was damaged, reminding me that I didn't know how much spiritual energy was left and how long I could endure. At this moment, I could only beg them to let go of the chase, but the happy days were short-lived. The civilians and the mercenaries quickly rushed in. In my mouth, I shouted not to escape. As I secretly looked at the civilians, I also found the bomb necklace around their necks. Originally, they were being threatened to help the Ma Chao sect. After instructing the red-haired person not to lower their guard, he was like a shooting star in the night. I used to casually challenge higher levels, but after the white shadow Cu Lin fish bit and swallowed the golden core and the fierce beast, as a beast tamer, I was fiercely countered. Not only was my original self damaged, originally having the advantage of spiritual energy, now shrinking on a large scale due to the successful defeat of the Taoist cultists, who came to hunt me down, I did not hesitate to take risks and summoned Hong Mao Nha to rescue the army threatened by them in the dark sky. The red-feathered duck was dazzling. Just as the two were admiring the beautiful shooting stars in the night sky, the muscles suddenly chilled, and in a moment, the thorny snake protecting itself tightly around its chest stiffened. The red-feathered duck sprayed a fierce fire, a loud explosion, also attracting Zich Min's search on the side. When it was clear that it was my pet, Zich Duck AP directly ordered Zich Hua Hao to chase and kill, but just as the power of Zich Hua Hao was about to strike, Hong Mao AP directly showed the retail speed of a shot of Tu Kim, disappearing in front of Zich Hua Hao in the blink of an eye. As Zich Fire Marquis was about to react, Hong Mao AP appeared behind him. At the same time, Hong Mao AP's powerful Qiuyang Fire was surrounded in a floating state. Zich Fire Marquis directly confronted Hong Mao AP with a fierce strike. In the heat of battle, Zich Dan also did not expect. Although my spirit beast was strong, when he looked towards the Taetu Ta cult behind him, there was no intention to lend a hand. On the other side, a muscular man aimed directly at the red-feathered duck in the sky, after which a sudden attack passed by. Avoiding the red-feathered duck, it swooped down and landed on the chest of the muscular man. Despite the mont's attempt to resist, he was ultimately overwhelmed. However, without waiting for my reproach, the red-feathered duck continued its relentless assault. In an instant, Zich Fire Marquis appeared before me, ready to unleash his fiery power. I quickly directed my intentions towards him, but he did not listen to my explanations. His fiery power struck towards me. Luckily, I had opened a new defensive stance to avoid the impact. Despite the protection of my shield, I was pushed back several meters. The citizens around were at a loss for words, deciding it was time to intervene. I immediately released my spirit power, preparing for an unavoidable battle. In an instant, the clash of our spiritual forces illuminated the night sky. Both the red duck and I faced our respective enemies. However, the situation did not last long as my sixth sense warned me of the insufficient spiritual power. At that moment, the citizen questioned the shield I used, but I paid no attention to him. I took the shield out of my hand, an action never seen before. However, for someone as experienced as him, this attack had little significance. With a powerful imagination, he unlocked his level C power and charged towards me. Initially, I planned to use a technique. After the wealthy young master displayed his lack of combat experience, the commoners revealed their level C talents and advanced towards me. I intended to seize the opportunity, but he surprised me with his close combat tactics. We fought like two thugs, but I was overwhelmed. I questioned Zich Dan why he would sacrifice himself for Ma Tru, knowing that even if he captured Ma Tru, it would not save his people. But Zich Dan seemed possessed. I reminded him that if he cooperated, I would spare him. I immediately captured Zich Dan, but he did not expect my swift response. The wealthy young master was skilled in inflicting 1,000 wounds on his enemies. After overpowering Zich Dan, I revealed the method of disarming the bomb. Despite my disadvantage, Zich Dan defiantly asked why he should trust me. I did not hesitate to reveal the hidden danger in the forest. As my hidden identity was exposed, I stood firm with a gun pointed at me. The ultimate showdown between us was about to unfold, but to my surprise, my power diminished. In a comical scene of thugs fighting, I was defeated when a gun was pointed at my head. I was taken to the Taetu Ta cult, where the people demanded the bomb be disarmed. However, the cult leader forced them to find Kyu Ko Bak. As tensions escalated, dissatisfaction grew among the people. Just as Zich Dan was about to inquire about Taetu's mother, Taetu intervened, cutting off Zich Dan. It seemed he had a reminder for them all, as a bomb hung around their necks. Seeing that I couldn't answer, there was no need to pretend anymore. I directly ordered my men to start acting. As soon as they heard the command, the hidden wolf quickly took action, aiming at the altar and squeezing the egret. However, the hot weapons against gold and the peddler did not pose any threat at all. The original purpose was blocked by a layer of evil altar protectors but also created an opportunity for a few people to quickly rush to the altar in an explosion a few minutes earlier. I told Chi Min how to deal with the bomb. However, Chi Min made a promotion gesture. In my suspicious expression, Dao Lang also told me that the bomb may have eavesdropping capabilities, so he asked me to speak a little softer. To someone like me who saw through everything, this was no different from being redundant. While telling them that it was just a normal variant bomb, I explained the whole plan to Chi Min. The bomb can only be controlled through the scepter in the hands of the altar. By destroying the pig bladder on his scepter, you can free the bomb that is controlling you. And now the plan is developing positively. The altar was slightly restrained by a muscular man. Thich Xa also found an opportunity to push the large head towards the scepter in the hands of the altar. However, the altar is a top-notch snake master and easily pushed the muscular man away. Holding the attacking snake tightly while the altar threw the snake away, he activated the bomb on everyone's neck. But everything was part of my plan. The activated bomb will not explode immediately. On the contrary, the bomb's explosion will last a long time. I told Zich Min how to deal with the bomb, but Zich Min made a promotion gesture, and with my suspicious face, Trung Lang also told me that the bomb may have eavesdropping capabilities, so I spoke a little softer, and to someone who saw through everything like me. This is no different from doing redundancy by telling them that this is just a normal variant bomb. After selling, I immediately directed Zich Dan to explain the whole process of the bomb. The bomb can only be controlled through the scepter in the hands of the altar. Just destroy his scepter pig bladder. You can neutralize your bomb's control, but currently, the plan is developing positively. The altar was made difficult by a muscular man. Thich Min also found the right opportunity to push the large ball towards the scepter in the hands of the altar. However, the altar, a top-level snake master, easily shot the muscular man behind, holding the attacking snake. While the altar threw the snake away, he immediately activated the bomb on everyone's neck. But everything is in my plan. The activated bomb will not detonate immediately. On the contrary, the bomb's delayed explosion is very long. At this point, the altar will surely reduce its vigilance, but as Tu Kim is about to succeed, the altar holds onto him tightly. Of course, this is also part of my plan. Although the appearance of the altar and the protectors seems strong, once this protector is destroyed, it will become useless. There is no effective protection when caught. Tu Kim turned his knife directly into the scepter. When the altar reacted, it was too late. In the next second, the chalice will be pierced without any protection. No protective effect when caught. Tu Kim directly turned his knife into the scepter, and when the altar reacted, it was too late. In the next second, the chalice will be pierced without any protection. Meanwhile, all the bombs are no longer effective. The altar also seemed to cooperate and threw Tu Kim back. In the flesh of the muscular man and Thich Min, Tu Kim was not injured. But in the next second, they rushed out like a wild horse just escaped from a trap. They ran away like wild horses. I can only say that I am used to being deceived many times. The altar directly combined both hands to release his talent before his judgment. In the next second, with the altar at the center of a circle with a radius of 100 meters immediately covered by purple substances, several Chi men who just ran out were blocked by this purple substance. At this point, in the completely covered area, the altar looked like a god in this world. The spirit released all of its pets. Although the shapes of these spirits are hard to describe, each one reached the golden level. Faced with suddenly facing many strange pets like that, I relied on the silly duck on my arm. I released all of my pets. Although the shapes of these spirit beasts are hard to describe, each one reached the golden level. Faced with suddenly facing many strange spirit beasts like that, I relied on the silly duck on my arm. They have abandoned me one by one in dangerous situations, even wanting to take advantage of my wealthy lineage to profit. When they were forced by the Academy of the Sphere, I did not hesitate to help them escape the bomb sphere. But in the end, all I got was the cruel abandonment of a few people. And the evil altar was caught, showcasing his talent before his judgment. Except for the wolf bee, everyone was held captive in this territory. And the pets released by the altar, each one reached a terrifying golden level. In such a decisive situation, I relied on the red-feathered duck. I put all my hopes on the red-feathered duck, ignoring the suspicious look of the red-feathered duck. In the next second, I unleashed my talent before the judgment of Tan Thu Tin Tu, with no movement other than planned. The powerful spiritual energy from the wild duck has transformed into armor surrounding me, signifying a significant change in my spiritual energy. The original water spiritual energy has now turned into complete fire spiritual energy. And the bond from my innate talent has also been broken at this moment. It is unfortunate that Maine, despite having such a powerful talent, did not utilize it well. He has become indifferent towards me after seeing the fusion between me and the wild duck. He couldn't help but praise when he saw a talent so closely tied to a rare soul in the world. But he said I was still too young to fully understand the deep meaning hidden in his painting. A precious gem with a devilish face suddenly appeared behind me. When I realized the gem was emitting its unique skill, the light of the lake shone in just a moment, causing my body to freeze in place. Faced with this sudden restraint, I was at a loss of what to do. Giant eyes penetrated from the void appeared above my head. And the heavenly gaze just needed to look at the holy rite for it to start trembling, freeing me from the light of the lake. When I looked at the gem, it felt like facing a constant looming threat beside me. Seeing my pet overwhelmed, the holy rite rode on the flood dragon towards me. As the main character, I fearlessly ran forward to confront the incompletely evolved holy rite. But due to a sudden surge in power that I couldn't fully control, I passed over the flood dragon in midair. In the hidden dispute behind our appearances, I also determined to fight the peak golden holy rite. In the eyes of the holy rite, I, a mere peddler, was only seeking death. We then fought in midair. On one side, a few soldiers in their eyes were no different from celestial beings fighting. Their powers not used directly as they were engrossed in watching the spectacle. A bunch of purple viscous droplets on the muscles of Amon's shoulder when they realized it was wrong, turned back to see a head that was unwilling. The demonic beast T Lin too, not a demon but hungry and thirsty, they closely followed behind. There were also parasites and Kong Tuok pearls. In a flash, they turned into a burst of light shooting out. At this point, on the other side, we had already engaged in a battle of over 300 moves. But we were evenly matched. Ledo couldn't hold back any longer and directly began to gather his most powerful force. The advantage erupted, and this action of mine had no restrictions on spiritual power at all. It was a direct opening of the surge in armor. Under the high-speed rotation of the armor, all fire spiritual energy was sucked into my right hand. Then, both of us completed our spiritual forces in an instant, sweeping clean the entire field based on the law of no mercy. Both of us were hit by the shockwaves from the explosion. Due to the powerful soul strength of the red-haired guest, my body couldn't keep up with this immense power. And the holy rite was also uncomfortable. Immediately, he tried to counter me, but I defeated him with a 32-watt punch from my own large-eyed Kazi Lan. Seeing me, he reversed his knowledge and decided to continue fighting me with his most formidable power. After uttering a series of original words, a black door behind him spewed out a large amount of purple material surrounding him, and the pets he had scattered everywhere were also described as purple, spreading tightly wrapped. Only long arms from the egg nest began to grow. If a knight's armor can fight against strange creatures of the same size, then the next scene can be seen as a battle between armored knights and Jurden. After mentioning a black door for a while, a large amount of purple material appeared surrounding the four corners. The pets were also at this point tied tightly with purple material spreading all over. Only the sensation of being pulled into the egg nest where they were completely merged with the egg nest. A sudden long leg stretched out from the egg nest. If the swashbuckler can fight against superhuman beings of the same size, then the next part can be considered the swashbuckler fighting against the great arrival. Gently pulling them into the egg cage where the altar was, they were completely integrated into the egg cage. A foot suddenly stretched out from the egg cage. If it is said that Vo Si Fong Lu can fight with superpower creatures of the same size, then the next part can be considered Vo Si Fong Lu battling Dai Den. As the ritual ended, all his pets merged into each other. A giant monster, tens of meters tall, appeared before me. The visual shock in that moment made me briefly turn into stone. But just as I was mesmerized, a giant hand grabbed me tightly. Despite my best effort, not a single finger of his moved. If before, with Vooth and Hoa's combined strength we could defeat the ritual, now the ritual was an unbeatable cane. Killing someone like that was purely imaginary. Seeing me struggle relentlessly, the ritual immediately raised both hands and slammed me hard to the floor. The sound of impact resonated strongly in the area. Luckily, Vooth and Hoa's armor protected me. I only fell into a brief unconscious state. When I woke up, I could feel the power difference between me and the ritual. But just as the ritual invited me to work for them, a bomb exploded directly on his forehead. As the ritual looked towards the exploding bomb, he pulled out a shield, continuously shooting bombs in my direction with his armored insect. Seeing the ritual turn to face the bomb, I immediately activated my special skill, spraying venom all over his face. Spraying vigorously towards the ritual, even as I pushed hard, I didn't forget to let the armored insect explode bombs beside me. But the initial flashy attack, when directed at the ritual, seemed futile. Seeing this, the muscle-bound men looked back at the civilians and whispered, "Your card-playing brother doesn't seem very strong, does he?" On the contrary, the civilians looked at the muscular men enticingly. "My card is not just one." Under the bombardment of the armored insect, like a magnet, the ritual's attention was completely drawn to me. Meanwhile, the great fire transformation was always lurking behind me, suddenly appearing. The ritual also noticed something unusual, but just as his giant hand was about to strike me, the great fire transformation immediately grabbed me. In that moment, I and the great fire transformation disappeared on the spot. The ritual's giant hand also clumsily avoided it. While he was still puzzled about why I suddenly disappeared, the great fire transformation had brought me behind the civilians. Seeing this, the civilians immediately instructed Ran Guy to take me for treatment. Meanwhile, he chose to stay alone, delaying the ritual's actions. Seeing the civilian spirit, I also asked him why he helped me. The civilian simply replied that there was no reason, just not wanting to owe anyone a favor. In that moment, the armored insect and the civilians united their souls, emitting a powerful flame spirit force. The ritual also could not bear it, raising his leg unwashed for 2 years towards the civilians. The armored insect also lived up to its name, enduring great pressure facing the approaching Sawfoot. The great fire transformation also promptly appeared behind the ritual. When the ritual reacted, a flame spirit struck him directly in the eyes. On my side, after examining Kim Tin's technology, I also found the cause of the sudden decline. From ancient times, water and fire do not harmonize. The flame spirit power of Vooth and Hua combined with my water spirit power. These two sources of power will surely push each other back. Simply put, the power in my body is not flowing smoothly, leading to incomplete fusion. Simply having a smooth flowing power in the body can make it fully complete. Upon hearing that, Ran Guy immediately took out a professional surgical tool with 5 uncut nails from many years. Seeing this, I was immediately horrified. Gradually moving away, but Ran Guy approached my ear, saying that for the first time, a little pain couldn't be avoided. Enduring a bit is just a passing phase. Waiting for my resistance, the flame power was injected into my back with Ran Guy's swirling hand. A sharp pain envelops my entire spiritual body right now, being activated intensely. In an instant, all the blocked spiritual power has been pushed out of my body along with the pain completely dissipating. No longer is my left arm armored. Right now, my left arm is surrounded by surging spiritual power. I clearly feel a strength like never before flooding my entire body. In this chaotic world, there are always those protected by the lucky goddess. Feng Lang, once just a sniper of the Hong Chu mercenary army, has now gained a stroke of luck and a love beast. While everyone is trapped under the spiritual rain that I prayed for, only he is unaffected. Of course, he is not happy to have escaped that situation but immediately pulls out a satellite phone from his pocket. After extending an ultra-long antenna, he calls the leader of the Red Monkey Warrior team. On the other end of the phone, Red Sky is in a meeting and upon hearing the urgent call, he immediately leaves. As soon as he opens his mouth, he asks an international question, disregarding Red Sky's unwillingness. Feng Lang directly recounts the situation encountered at the Magic Sphere Academy in Banana Town. While facing Red Sky, who came to negotiate with the Red Monkey Warrior team, was suddenly horrified upon hearing this news. After receiving this news, Red Sky, who was lounging lazily on the chair, suddenly got up. Standing up with a baseball bat in hand, he negotiated with the lovely Ma from the Magic Sphere Academy, continuously explaining that there may have been some misunderstanding. After hearing the incident presented by Feng Lang, Red Sky quickly got up from his chair. Then a negotiator from the lovely Ma sat opposite Red Sky, suddenly feeling fearful upon hearing this news. Upon seeing this information, Red Sky issued his own warning and warned the cultists that the person who finally discovered those who had acted against his Red Monkey team. After defeating the enemy, I stood before them. After asking for the name, I directed Red Sky to find a convenient place to watch. I faced the Holy Mass alone. When I opened my mouth to Red Sky to find a convenient place to watch, I went straight to the Holy Mass. As I opened the way for Red Sky, I directed him to find a convenient place to watch. I stood alone facing the Holy Mass. The Heavenly Eye also reminded me to make use of Phoenix Nirvana. Not from the Heavenly Eye's reminder did I forget that I was still connected to Phoenix Nirvana. While Red Name and Bug Land were trying to resist the Holy Mass attack. When Bug Land was about to fail, I stood before them, instructing Red Name to find a convenient place to watch. I faced the Holy Mass alone as I opened the way for Red Name to find a convenient place to watch. I stood alone facing the Holy Mass as I guided Red Name to find a convenient place to watch. I stood alone facing the Holy Mass. With the added power, Duck Red's skills have been significantly improved. Skills are also equipped with a threat-based prefix. When the Holy Mass missed the Red Sun's glare, I felt it was unfair. The entire right side also burned under the effect of the fire. It's time I thought about Phoenix Nirvana strongly. I prepared a strategy to match my arm with the Holy Mass peak gold. In the eyes of the Holy Mass, I, a completely ordinary merchant, was just seeking death. We then fought in midair. After witnessing a series of ostentatious actions from me, the Holy Mass began to unleash its exclusive unified skills. Ball bursting ball, a series of energy layers formed sprang up, but for me, I was completely overwhelmed by the suddenly enhanced power of this slow developing skill. With just a few jumps, I managed to avoid heading straight towards the Holy Mass. After delivering a punch, the Holy Mass called out unanswered, but I had no intention of letting him slip away. I then activated Turbo Boost on my arm. Along with the inner fire, a powerful hot stream immediately burst forth. The first level of sacrifice was also fully charged with 100. Duck Red's skills have also been greatly improved. Skills are also equipped with a threatening prefix. But with just one punch, the Holy Mass called out in pain. But I had no intention of letting him slip away. I then activated Turbo Boost on my arm. When fighting with the fire, the Holy Mass said no to the rules. The skills of the red-haired guest have been significantly enhanced at this point. Skills are equipped with an assertive prefix while the Holy Mass was just inspired to wear the dead sun. He had to say strongly that he did not adhere to martial law. The entire right side was also burned under the bright flames. However, as soon as he intended to let me experience his ultimate move, I struck back with a kick punch carrying the heavy four-legged attribute of the Master Te's spirit beast. I had no intention of stopping there. Don't underestimate this guy, and I didn't pretend to immediately focus my spiritual energy ready for a decisive battle. In an instant, a powerful beam of light centered directly on Master Te. The powerful root ray had already been known before combining with the killing formation, which can easily be recognized. In sync with Master Te's painful scream, a fire phoenix shone brightly across the night sky of Tanlap village. In this era, everyone can only possess one special talent, and I am different. I no longer pretend to focus my energy immediately to prepare for a winning blow. Immediately after, I created a powerful beam of light that directly pierced the shrine. The powerful light from the box beam was enhanced by the controversy of the phoenix. This blow is easily recognizable along with the painful cries of the shrine. A fire phoenix shone across the night sky of Nyanlam town. In this era, everyone is sold out. Most people can only possess a pre-sold talent, but I am not like that. I belong to the smallest part of those few people. This pre-sold talent only needs me to want all talents to be usable by me. Just because of the second talent that I awakened is the level 3's heavenly love when used simultaneously with holding on to Ming Thu. And after being supported by the Fuang Nham of Fong Nam, I once again with the power of the equivalent level killed a pre-sold gold level teacher. The light from the grazing beam explosion illuminated the dark sky, and Kai Tiuha arrived late to see such a powerful skill. She exclaimed, "Oh my god, the power of this skill is on par with diamond level already. How could they be drawn into such a battle when the helicopter lands? The wolves will also appear in the rainforest." Everything that happened has been detailed by Kai Tiuha. Looking at the scene of the explosion nearby, Kai Tiuha suddenly lost his composure. Such a loud noise must have aroused the owner of the rainforest. At this point, the members of the mercenary group at the center of the explosion were also not just surprised. Within just 2 days, they had experienced 2 explosions like that. If the target of the attack was us, it would certainly have been enough to revive us 10 times. But in their panic, they remembered the hero of the explosion. They quickly shouted towards the center of the explosion where I was standing. Seeing me still standing upright, their anxious hearts were finally comforted. But in just 2 seconds, my body became uncontrollable and blood flowed like a stream of tomato soup. When I was confused about what to do, the Sacred Eye sent a message about the side effects of the stimulant, and Kai Xa was flooded with excuses without finishing speaking. The roots around suddenly came back to life. It can be said that the storm kept coming continuously. The knowledgeable residents immediately saw the method of the owner of the rainforest. At the same time, unleashing his power, he also ordered the small team and me to retreat immediately. But the tree trunks like a flood rushed out from all sides. The bullets and attacks did not diminish at all. In such difficult circumstances, the escape effort failed, and we were trapped in it. However, the tree trunks continued to grow, gradually converging in the air until everything became peaceful. The true owner of Nyan Lam also revealed himself completely. As the true owner of the rainforest, the chili trees were rolling, and at this point, we residents were inside the owner of the rainforest. Having become frightened after undergoing a thorough inspection of the equipment, Tim Kim also reported bad news. There is no signal here, and there is no way to contact the outside world. In addition, the oxygen level here is only enough to sustain for 30 minutes. After hearing Tim Kim's words, the residents immediately punched the tree branch next to them, constantly blaming themselves. I stood calmly beside them, seeing that the more nervous they became, the faster they consumed oxygen. Therefore, conserve your energy. You lead when you show impatience. Have you considered the feelings of those who trust you in times like these? It is crucial to remain calm. What matters most now is to trust those who trust you. The path to gaining experience often involves encountering troubles. Although Win De Dai has the ability to overcome all difficulties, there comes a time when even he must face them. Depleting my intelligence one by one, I now lack the strength to break down barriers. Meanwhile, on the other side, Kai Tiu Ha searches around without success. Quickly rushing towards the rainforest owner, from the traces gathered around the residents, it is certain they are close to the rainforest owner. Seeking help will inevitably provoke the rainforest owner. Instead of sneaking around, be proactive in your approach. Just as they are making plans. How to deal with the rainforest owner suddenly, a scattered cry for help is transmitted through the earpiece. We come from the bamboo branch, not by luck. Now there is no need to kill the rainforest owner, just dig up and rescue. As Kai Tiu Ha unleashes his power, a small shark appears. After escaping his own party space, he may not have a huge physical form, but his golden level is unmatched. Right after that, Red Sky utilizes his exclusive skill Resurrection. Kai Tiu Ha slowly merges the baseball bat and ball until they are perfectly in sync. Kai Tiu Ha spins in the air 360 degrees and dives straight beneath the rainforest owner's helicopter. The rainforest owner, with absolute speed, quickly notices Kai Tiu Ha approaching from below. Right after that, a myriad of tree roots began to grow vigorously around him. However, these roots did not attack Kai Tiu Ha, but instead formed stairs beneath his feet. An opportunity not to be missed, a chance for advancement at no cost. Following the insane smile of Zich Tiu Ha, his baseball bat is also enveloped by a violent force. After a moment, the tropical rainforest master, without directly guarding against it, is struck by the baseball bat, shattering his skull. However, this force does not diminish as the tropical rainforest master strikes straight down. Inside the rainforest owner's body, we see a sudden burst of red light, not unlike a forecast. However, Chiat Dan quickly recognizes this somewhat familiar power until the light completely disappears. A quirky red-haired girl surrounded by lightning suddenly appears before everyone. The once cold demeanor of the people, including the deputy chief, immediately turns into a small puppy rushing towards Kai Tiu. Appearing before everyone's eyes, the people, even the deputy chief, immediately turn into small puppies rushing towards Chiat Dan, calling out to the owner. Chiat Dan, with a face that sees demons, swings a blow that knocks Chiat Dan to the ground. From the prediction of a male figure, it indicates that the head of the family must always cherish them. Returning to the main topic, the rainforest owner's recovery speed is very fast. His entire face is filled with disdain, a punch that knocks down Kai Dan rushing towards him. From the muscular mont's face next to him, you can see that their leader often loves them. Returning to the main topic, the rainforest owner's recovery speed is very fast. After requesting Wind Wolf to release the cable on the helicopter, Red Sky quickly orders all of us to board. As we climb onto the helicopter, the rainforest lord's body, initially split in half, has now undergone a fusion process, appearing completely whole. Despite knowing the rainforest lord's strong healing ability, the speed of recovery is truly terrifying. While standing on the helicopter, Red Sky feels uneasy. Just as he notices the helicopter leaving this place, a powerful laser beam strikes high in the sky, instantly knocking down Red Sky in midair. Witnessing this scene, the people immediately cry out for officials. Red Sky remains calm as he points out the falling speed, also managing to scold Red Ming a few words. Upon hearing this news, Red Sky, who is lazily lying on the chair, suddenly stands up. With the baseball bat in his hand, he negotiates with the adorable demon of the Sphere Academy, constantly explaining. Kai Tiu Tian immediately starts to ascend, along with a graceful landing. Both Qian Dan and I open our eyes wide. Kai Tiu Ha, on the other hand, only shows contempt. After gesturing importance in front of the rainforest lord, we pilot the helicopter away. Leaning on a big tree to enjoy the shade, Kai Dan's sister, though young, had reached the peak of the gold level with a powerful strength like a rainforest lord. In front of him, there was only a fate of mockery. After successfully leaving the territory of the rainforest lord, Kai Dan also detailed to Kai Tiu Ha about what he had encountered on the way. On this road, after hearing the sound of my grinding stone saving some of Kai Dan's people from the hands of the sacrificer, he immediately introduced himself to me. Kai Tiu Ha, the gold expert of the Li Li and Li Association. I also introduced myself by shaking hands. Bok Tuan, the bronze expert of the association, when he saw the power that Kai Tiu Ha often showed, I couldn't help but link him to the two nieces of Lord Kai Da. And when Kai Tiu Ha knew who I was, he immediately spoke up, asking me if I was from the Bok family in Bok City. When he heard her ask that, Kai Dan couldn't hide the chill, and I didn't conceal anything, directly revealing my identity as the young master of the Bok family. Following this logic, then Lord Bok is not your father, right? This person is just missing a few words to believe. Right after that, he came close to me, grabbed my chin, and emphasized in a threatening manner that our mercenary group has existed for a long time and the landlords have also made contact. Mr. Bok is also considered a regular customer of mine, but there are always people who do not know their place and like to impersonate the Bok identity to deceive us. But if you claim to be the young master of Bok, then you are the first person. Right after that, he instructed me on how to deal with imposters. This part is left for everyone to imagine. It seems that the young master of Bok was frightened. When I was still suspecting that he would use some cruel method to check if I was the young master of Bok, he came close to me, showed off, and then seemed satisfied. It seems that I am indeed the young master of Bok, witnessing a series of intimate behaviors and strange positions. Then Dan directly screamed. Returning to the topic, after experiencing difficulties twice, the people felt that something was missing. After he reminded me like that, I also remembered that there was still the white orb in the shop before. As I entered the shop, the scene in front of me was overwhelming. At that moment, the white orb was surrounded by pink gems. And when I held the white orb full of pink gems and stepped out of the shop, Kai Dan and her sisters at the door presented everything they had learned at school. But the most curious thing is why I brought someone else into the shop besides myself. I used to be as confident as an old dog. Suddenly began to panic. Kai Tiu Ha, who had wandered in the martial arts world, also witnessed for the first time a handling that no one else could do before. But when looking closely at the white orb and the pink gem resembling a spirit stone, Kai Tiu Ha concluded that he had definitely activated some kind of protective mechanism, but also did not rule out the possibility that it was due to the overpowering space of mind. At this point, the pressure fell on the only team with a doctor, Thich Xa. Although it was difficult for Thich Xa, it did not exclude these two reasons. But for safety reasons, he still had to check first. Knowing that the situation could change, Kai Tiu Ha immediately ordered the plane to change direction to the nearest town, Ti Lin Chan. Whether lucky or not, even the demon sect knew about the notorious reputation of the people who worshipped the Spider Queen of the indigenous people. They were also divided into the Radiant Sun faction and the conservative Yuan An faction for different ideals. Those who followed the tribal sect in Bok City and the sacrificers this time all belonged to the Radiant Sun faction. And after learning about the downfall of Arthur, the peak master of Voci Solares, the great deity immediately held an internal meeting. Although Arthur ranked 6th among the 6 master deities, his power could not be denied. It's almost like a diamond god wanting to destroy him. At least he has to be a weak diamond general, and the closest one with that power is only the White Wolf City's capital city and the owner of Kumuk City. After listening to Lao Ni, he said so. Master Tay directly eliminated White Wolf City, who has become a half-disabled person. Now only the owner of So Mok City has the ability. Lao Tu added that Kin Thao Lam is the territory of Wei An sect. They cannot be completely ruled out, they did it. On this matter, Master Tay only said that it doesn't matter who did it. Whoever dares to be our enemy, I will surely make them pay. Then he entrusted this difficult task to the 5th Master Tay, Asmodin. After he made a gesture of obedience, Master Tay continued to tell everyone about another important issue. This issue is directly related to the survival of Engei Kai sect. At this moment, with Master Tay at the center, a giant spider mother image appeared before everyone as you see. The prince is starting to enter the holy sleep state, and the spirit is starting to return to the wilderness. Since the massacre 25 years ago, the prince has always been in Engei Kai. Why do they suddenly want to sleep? According to the ancient law, the spirit of Wei An only occurs every 90 years. But this time it happened early. Is it related to the Earth's intention this time, or is the prince about to evolve? People are debating. There are too many unstable factors among them. Anyway, this incident is related to the survival of Engei Kai. Ready to resolve these troubles at all costs, hear Master Tay say so. 3rd Master Tay Dak Kak Ba immediately asked to go on a mission to stop the human sect that was blessed by the prince. Regarding Ba La's request to join the battle, Master Tay felt quite surprised. But also reminded him that although the Wei An sect has not received the blessing of the prince, they are not a group of individuals. Still have to be careful. After getting permission from Master Tay, Mivan K will exist forever in the hall. When the masters finished the meeting, Bala suddenly called for the 5th Master Tay, Asmodin. Clearly the 3rd Master Tay was not the kind of person that Mo Dan liked. After Mo Dan expressed his indifference, he took his pet, Hin Thien, and left the hall. Realizing the situation was not good, Bala quickly stood in front of him. Although ordered by Master Tay to carry out the mission might be very honorable, have you thought about Arthur, who sacrificed himself while carrying out Master Tay's mission? He was famously hard to kill. This sentence seems to make Mo Dan remember something. He stepped out of the door. Seeing Mo Dan affected, Bala quickly added even Arthur failed. Master Tay is not unaware of your power. Now sends you to continue the mission, seems to want to send you to death. If I were you, I would definitely not take his words as trust, as he said the heart has begun to change. And in chaotic times, only the strong can escape unharmed. Mo Dan also did not expect him to say so much. Ask if you are not afraid. I will tell Master Tay what you said today. Clearly, if Bala decides to tell him, he is sure he believes he will not betray him. Then added, I believe you are smart rather than a tool that only knows to obey orders. After throwing away a black sword, Bala stepped out of the hall. The big tree branches hidden danger gradually grew one by one. When Quachko Bok fell into a coma due to my negligence when we arrived in Chuoi Lam City, immediately took Quachko Bok to the nuclear inspection room slowly. Although after undergoing a device check, Kwachko Bok was not in danger of life. But we also don't know when he will wake up, and the analysis of Thich Xa is a heavy blow to my heart. Note that his spiritual state is chaotic, although he has temporarily escaped the danger of life, but cannot solve the current situation. The chance of waking up is very slim when he sees me transitioning from white to black. Kai Ha Kai Tu also comforts Thich Xa, a good doctor who will surely heal your friends. And recently I have also met another friend who can help this child. Continuing to hear about the hope of Kai Ky, I immediately turned around and asked Kai Ha Kai Tu where he was. Kai Ha Kai Tu also did not hide, leading me straight to a room. On the way, he also reminded me not to be agitated when meeting that guy. However, I always think about the exact cause of Kai Ky's problem, not hearing clearly what he said. The fierce and violent mood of Kai Xa also began to rise at this time. The pain and sharpness this time increased many times compared to before, the intense killing. The specific reason why Kuko Bok got into trouble, I did not hear what he said. The reaction of the monster also suddenly became violent. Compared to the previous reaction, this time the feeling of pain and sharpness has increased many times. The strong cruelty. Emotions at this moment overflowed into my consciousness, but with superior willpower, I still restrained the killing. When he saw I didn't react for half a second, Kai Ha Kai Tu suddenly turned his head to look at me. Luckily I reacted in time, quickly hiding the arm full of thorns. After a few trivial words, I and Kai Ha Kai Tu advanced to that person's room. When Kai Ha Kai Tu opened the door, a middle-aged man was eating instant noodles, wearing a strange cloak with the name Hio Ma on it. Hastily hiding the arm full of thorns, just stroking a few sentences, then following Kai Tu Ha to the room where that person was staying. When Kai Tu Ha opened the door, a middle-aged man was eating noodle soup with a dazzling cloak sitting. Appearing in front of me, I clearly saw the arrival of the person. I was also suddenly shocked by the discipled trin in my heart, unable to suppress the anxiety. The heart constantly imagines a series of doubts. However, as soon as Kai Ha Kai Tu recounted everything to him, a complex feeling began to surge in my heart. In my ears, the tone of a voice resonated. Because of killing his grandfather, they fell into such a cruel situation. The people of Tanbak Lin also made this place desolate because of them. However, after hearing Kai Ha Kai Tu recount everything, Hio Sa Lao simply walked up to me coldly. Compared to the child he mentioned, I feel this younger brother needs more help. Hearing from the disciple colleague's mouth, I couldn't contain the killing in my heart. Immediately opening the storefront space, releasing small carp. At the same time, the red thorns from my store space immediately overflowed, flipping the place we were standing on. As I explained everything to that person, a complex feeling began to rise in my heart. In my ears, a voice echoed. Because he killed his grandfather, they fell into such a cruel situation. The people of Bok City, it was because of them that this place became desolate. However, after hearing Chien Ha Kai Tu recount everything, Hio Sa Lao just coldly walked up to me. Compared to the child he spoke of, I felt that this younger brother needed more help. Hearing from the apprentice's mouth, I couldn't contain the killing intent in my heart. Immediately opening the shop, I released small carps. At the same time, the red spines from my shop immediately sprang up, flipping the place we were standing. However, in the eyes of Hio Sa Nyan Kwang, the situation seemed to become smoother. He kept spinning to avoid me, and I also couldn't help but notice his healing speed. In such a situation, he still held the noodle package without spilling the soup. And from the shop, half of the carp's body had become very similar to Kai Xa. I couldn't contain the anger in my heart, so I directly opened the shop to release the small shark outside. At the same time, a series of red thorns from my shop burst out. In a moment, the place we were standing was turned upside down. But with Do Heen, the situation seemed to be how smooth. He just turned around to avoid me, the noodle in his hand did not spill water. And from the shop, the small shark half-body came out to be similar to the monster. Completely harmless on the outside, but seeing the front space not completely open, the rear person also looked at me with old eyes. In such a situation, he could still maintain a respectful attitude. If you bring a pet to me, I will help you. Mother of Quan Chao, sorry for not using the sword in hand to kill demons and destroy the emperor without killing innocent people. Please grant me the power to save the world. After speaking, he raised the sword in his hand high, drew a circle in the air, and loudly called out the name of revival. I thought he would at least summon an 8-foot-tall beast, but I never expected his pet to be just a green monster wearing a bra. But then the power of Mo Lam and Hao Tai and completely shook my understanding of the strong ones. They have changed my view of the strong. If it is said that the Fu Lang of Tri Ma can enhance the powerful weapons of the owner, then the diverse skills of Mo Lam have significantly increased the physical strength of the owner. The fat fish gradually became furious when witnessing this scene. Concentrating his energy to unleash his most powerful attack, the KY Fu master activated the Tan Tui Zamthok skill. Despite the earlier activation of the fat fish's skill, before the extreme flexibility of Hoi Tan An, a single leap easily dodged the attack. And right after that, Hoi Tan An utilized the mystical power of Lam Mo to soar through the air straight towards the fat fish. But just as the large sword was about to strike the fat fish, Hoi Tan An suddenly executed a swift spin, interrupting the impending skill release. It was said to save the world. How could one use such a powerful offensive skill only seen raising his right hand, channeling the force into his 10 fingers? Soon after, a resounding blow echoed throughout the arena. The fat fish shattered under the impact of this powerful strike. Thrown back into space before the release, along with the fading smoke, the proud figure of this world lay motionless amidst the rubble, showing no signs of reaction. Also a disciple of the Mak Chao sect, a man bearing a striking resemblance to Yasuo, effortlessly restrained the wild white dragon. And under this attack, both the fat fish and my master fell into a state of unconsciousness. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself surrounded by a lush green forest, a stark contrast to the modern devices I was accustomed to seeing. All the devices here depicted peculiar images. But before I could fully observe my surroundings, 2 fingers suddenly inserted into my nostrils. In a half-awake, half-dream state, I was abruptly awakened by this strange action. Initially dismissing it as a bizarre dream. Until fully awake, I realized what I saw was real, and the wounds from the intense battles in recent days had improved. At this moment, Hack 2, while forcibly waking me, was wearing a demonic expression. While speaking words I didn't understand, Hackma was also saying something, but I couldn't comprehend a single word. Now, in my mind, I only had one thought: who am I? Where am I, and what do these Hack 2 individuals intend to do? But before I could ask a question, a familiar yet unfamiliar voice sounded from behind me. Are you awake, my little brother? A familiar face, a familiar makeup. I will never forget the scene of being hit by a mental attack with just a single strike. Having dealt with the aftermath of the battle, the disciple of the Mak Chao sect continued to show respect towards Mak Chao. I had forgotten that I still held a gas pipe in my hand and instinctively turned away upon hearing the words Mak Chao. We are of the Chu Hao lineage. Don't know why these outsiders like to give names. Whether it's calling us pigs or demons, I am more concerned about where Quachko Bak is. But before answering my question, eating instant noodles seriously, looking down at me, he gently asked, "Do you have manners?" Not understanding his intention, I simply remained silent and bowed my head. As he enjoyed the noodles, Hackma handed me a towel. Realizing the issue of cleanliness, I quickly accepted the towel, both protecting my brother and expressing gratitude. Meanwhile, Hackma seemed intrigued, as if our brother was truly charming. Once dressed, I asked, "Where is Hoi Tan An?" But Hoi Tan An had long departed. Before I could ask, a heavy stone struck my head. Turning in anger, Hack 2 was casually conversing. But with his lack of hair, I paid no attention. "I don't care and won't argue with you." Just as I was suspecting if I had been betrayed by that Yu Ha, Hackma opened the door to our room. And outside the door, the scene had completely changed my perspective. It was indeed an underground ancient city. All the structures were covered with ancient symbols, and at the center of the city was a gigantic temple. But before I could fully appreciate the sight, a sudden shock to my senses as Hag Mu pulled my hand and rushed me out of the room. Running towards the temple 100 meters away, Hag Mu suddenly pointed to the distant temple and spoke in a bird language. Although I didn't understand a word, I could sense her intention. Perhaps she wanted me to approach the temple. From somewhere, Hag Mu took out a green sapphire and placed it in my hand. As I received it, Hag Mu raised her arm and pointed to the sapphire on my wrist. The meaning was clear. She wanted me to carry the green spider with me. Without any hesitation, I immediately followed Hag Mu's instructions and carried the green sapphire with me.